It's a Thrifty Thursday on GTU, and Amy Rasmussen is back on the show with a thrifting challenge for all of our viewers.
Yes.
It's good to see you.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be back. So if you've been to the website, you know we're doing a monthly challenge, thrifting our way through the new year, and today we're talking about clothing.
Okay, and so is there a strategy? Is there a time? Is there a place? Several times a week? What are we doing?
I typically like to have a strategy, and that starts with knowing what you want ahead of time. So make like a wish list. For example, I really wanted a Mrs. Claus outfit for some reason, just to like mess with my teenagers. So I've been on the hunt for something to wear as Mrs. Claus, and I magically found this red velour nightgown.
So this is for next year. So you're shopping for all occasions all the time.
Yeah, just kind of know ahead before you go so that you're on the lookout, and then your hunt is a little easier. But that's the next tip, is to have a hunt.
We talked about this last time. Why is thrifting so big right now?
Number one, it's sustainable for the environment. The landfills are overrun with clothing, and so this is a great way to kind of subsidize just the waste that goes out there, and it's fun. It really is fun. So I think that's one of the reasons, and financially, it just kind of makes sense.
And can you truly shop from head to toe?
Yes.
From head to your breeches?
Yes.
Tops, dresses.
Britches.
All of the above. I just went to St.
above.
George. It's actually fun to go to a new spot. Like if you're going to your same spot, it's fun to branch out because then you find new stuff.
Find new stuff. Like my whole outfit, minus my shoes and my earrings, are thrifted. So I just kind of go with like, I love peplum, but I don't know if it's going to like work perfectly for my body. So finding something that's like, oh, I've always wanted to try that. That's another tip, is to know your measurements before you go. Because sometimes you're not going to see the tag, right? Maybe you just see a measurement, then you have an idea of like, oh, I know that's going to fit my bust or my waist or my hip size.
Oh, this is beyond small, medium, large.
Yes.
Yeah. You need to know your numbers.
Know your numbers.
Okay.
And a lot of times vintage wear doesn't have the same sizes that we have now. So like this tuxedo, I love this, you guys. I found this.
That's fantastic.
This is a women's tuxedo. It doesn't have standard metric sizing as we know it now, but it does have a waist measurement inside. So when I was looking at this, I'm like, okay, I'll try it on. It's got my waist measurement, fits like a glove, but it's a vintage size, so they're not always going to be true to what we know now. And
do
even
you
that
always try on, or do you grab and go when it comes to thrifting?
This is bad, but it kind of depends on the thrift store.
Okay.
If it's one that I've like frequented enough, I kind of know the culture of the store and how they take care of their items and who's donating to that store, I'm a little more apt to trying stuff on. If I've never been there, I might just buy it and call it a wash if it doesn't fit.
And it looks like you can also buy for your kids too.
Absolutely.
Can look out for them.
Especially with you know, growing children. Like I have a daughter who sometimes wears an outfit once, and I don't feel guilty if I've thrifted it. I can just take it back and return it to where it came from. But I love thrifting for new, almost new items, and that's another one of my thrifty tips.
Because that would be how much?
I think I paid $4 for this dress.
And look how cute that is.
Yes.
And it's almost brand new.
It's almost brand new. There's no stains, there's no wear and tear on it. It's pretty much in pristine condition.
And you mentioned stains, and maybe there's some smells, and you have some tricks to get those out.
Yes, I consider myself a vetted veteran in the art of removing smells from laundry, even just in general. And this goes for textiles. So like, don't be afraid to find a pillow or a throw. Just know the proper way to disinfect it and get whatever's in there out of it. And
without just taking it and putting it in the wash?
What is the proper way?
So there's a couple different ways you can do it. I'm a big fan of throwing down some heavy layers of vinegar, and that will help alleviate a lot of the smells just because of the acidity in the vinegar will take it right out. It's also a great disinfectant. You never know, bed bugs can transfer in clothing and in textiles, so always make sure that you're doing a high heat through your dryer. You can put them in a garbage bag, throw them in a high heat cycle for about 5 to 10 minutes so it doesn't melt, and it will kill whatever.
The washing cycle?
If it's something like this, I would.
We're spraying this,
yeah,
and then
you're going to disinfect
it
it first, exactly, and then you want that high heat on it to get whatever's in there.
Does the vinegar smell stay? Does it stick around?
Because I don't smell it at all.
Yes. If you spray something really well, in about 24 to 48 hours, as soon as it dries, it's going to take that smell out. Another great way is to do not weather stripping. That's the stuff that goes on your door. Clothing stripping. This is just Tide and borax. So you get a nice hot bath of this, throw your items in there and let it sit for 4 to 8 hours. That's going to take a lot of that smell out of it.
And again, are we putting water? What are we doing?
Yes.
Are we soaking?
Immersing?
So
if it's something like this that's more, there's padding or there's batting or something in there, you probably want to disinfect it because you don't know what's in it. Standard clothing is totally okay to throw right in the wash, or do a little bit of the vinegar. You could do the soaking with the borax and Tide. Tide is a great option because it's really heavily scented.
And what about
that's
this
gonna get that
blanket?
out.
Because this is one that I could see you couldn't really put in the wash.
Correct.
Yeah.
I did that with, I did soak it, and it was able to come right out, and then I just stuck it on a low heat in the dryer, and it turned out beautifully.
You are an expert. Would you
like
call
this
that
stuff.
clothing stripping?
Yeah, clothing stripping.
Clothing stripping. Okay. If you need to know more about that, she's on Instagram and has a website. The information is on your screen and on our website, abc4.com/GTU. And get on there and take up the challenge.
Yes, March is all about clothing, finding name brand, new items. Just have fun with it.
Thank
Okay, I
you,
need to take
Amy.
you and
Yeah.
my daughters because
Let's
this
do
is
it.
what we do at my house now.
I
We
love
thrift.
it.
We
Yay!
thrift.
I
Coming
love
up
it.
next, now we're sitting down with a pretty